Alright, so I know what you're saying. You're thinking, hey, didn't you want to do this? Yes! Last year I did reviews of all 4 Halloweentown movies. But, due to some bullshit scaredness, fears on my part, I deleted them all, thinking I was going to get in trouble. This is a review, though. It's not, other stuff. So, I'm redoing my Halloweentown reviews this year. Specifically, today. I'm going to try to do all 4 today, so we'll see how far we get. But we'll start with the first one, right here, Halloweentown. This came out in 1998, and I was 11 years old. And, I remember being very interested in this. A lot of people, when they think Halloweentown, think Nightmare Before Christmas. But you know what? That movie sucks. I said it. The Nightmare Before Christmas sucks. I have seen it twice in my life. Once when I was a kid, once when I was a teenager. When I was a kid, I thought it was okay. When I was a teenager, I was like, what the hell is the big deal with this movie? It sucks. Alright? Not sucks, but it's just not fantastic. Okay? It's mediocre at best. Alright? Maybe I went a little too far. It doesn't suck. It's mediocre. But anyway, this is not that Halloweentown. This is different. This is focused on a family, the Cromwell family. And Aggie Cromwell, the matriarch, the grandmother, comes to visit her grandchildren on Halloween. She's a witch. And she has come because there is some evil in Halloweentown that she needs help with. Also, it is Marnie, her granddaughter's 13th year. And 13 is the last time you can be trained to be a witch. Of course, her daughter, Gwen, Marnie's mother, doesn't want her family. She married a mortal and moved away from Halloweentown to get away from all that. She doesn't want her kids to end up like that. Well, Marnie gets itching and follows her grandmother, along with her brother and eventually their sister, to Halloweentown. They follow the grandmother to Halloweentown. Eventually Gwen shows up. While there, though, they meet Calabar, who is the mayor. He's the first person they meet. And then later they find out that he actually had a relationship with their mother when they were teenagers. Now, there's also a troublemaker named Luke, played by Philip Van Dyke, who I know as the voice of Arnold from Hey Arnold. I understand there's that dude with the tattoos that everybody keeps showing, but to me, Philip Van Dyke is Hey Arnold. You ain't telling me anything else, alright? Because I remember seeing stuff on Nickelodeon and they showed him as the voice of Arnold. So, shut up. Anyway. So, now that Marnie's there, she wants to help fight the bad thing. However, Luke lures Aggie into a trap. And so when the mom shows up, they're going to talk to Calabar. That's when they find out that they used to date. And Calabar is said that he has a meeting or something. And so they see that the grandma's going to the theater. They follow her. And both Gwen and Aggie get taken out and frozen, basically, with the rest of the people. The people are they're normal 1 minute, and then they're acting like strange and more monster looking in the next minute, and then they're just frozen. They're gone. Now, the whole thing is that they've disappeared and they can't find them. But then they show us they're in the theater. I'm like, no one goes in this theater? No one goes, oh, hey, there's a movie playing. No one says, hey, no kids like to mess around in the abandoned theater. I find that to be bullshit. All right? I'm just saying. No one goes in this theater where all the people are just sitting there getting, cobwebs on them and stuff. No one. And it's after this that Luke sort of has a change of heart after what the bad thing the creature does. Yeah. And so now it's up to the children, which is a very Disney thing. Take out the adults, have the children be the focus of the film. Very Disney. It's a Disney Channel original movie. I forgot to mention that. If you don't know, now you know. But now they have to find the ingredients to make this witch's brew and put it in this scepter, this talisman, and then they gotta find a way to stop the bad thing. So they get all the ingredients, they put it in the talisman, and they try to wave it around, and nothing happens, and then they have to install it somewhere, and they realize they have to put it in the pumpkin that's in the center of the town square. And this is where we get our villain reveal. And when I was a kid, when I was 11 watching this, I remember I was shocked. But as an adult, I was like, oh. But as an adult, I'm just like, it's painfully obvious that it's Calabar. When they first get there, Calabar's the first person they meet. So, the writers are saying, hey, look at this guy. He's the first person they meet. Then, when they have a meeting with Calabar, he unexplainedly has to leave for some special meeting. Right afterwards, they meet the bad thing. Also, he can't pronounce Sophie's name right, so that's another scratch. Another check on the board. I don't know. But yeah, it's painfully obvious it's him. And he's doing it because he wants to bring the monsters into the real world. But these aren't your old style monsters. Like, it's explained that back in the old days, the Dark Ages, the monsters and the humans were separated into two separate worlds. The only difference now is these are domesticated monsters. They have lives. They live in houses. They're normalized monsters. They're not vicious werewolf-like monsters that'll go crazy if you switch them to the other world. They want to be taken seriously as normal people. They've changed. So even if he did have a plan to go into the real world, there's no guarantee he would have an army of monsters behind him. His plan is a little bit whacked, so to speak. But Marnie, of course, takes care of him. He tried, they do a distraction where she's in, the red robe, but it's actually Luke. And then she goes to put the thing in, but she gets zapped, but she drops it, and it lands just perfectly inside the pumpkin, which, frees everyone. And then Aggie and Gwen show up, and then it's the power of the Cromwell witches. The Aggie, Gwen, Marnie, Sophie, and Dylan, whose anger sparks the powers to show up. And together they banish Calabar. They destroy him, he explodes, whatever. Luke is reverted back to his goblin form, which, okay. And he's made a bus driver, which is not continued in the next film. I'm just saying. Also, there's some sort of romantic it's hinted that there's some kind of romance between them, but that's not followed up in the next one anyway. But overall, I like this movie. I think it's probably the best of the 4 films for me. The 2 and 3 aren't bad. 4 will get there, but this is not bad. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's enjoyable, at least. It's a staple for me every Halloween. At least I try to pop it in. So it's a fun watch. There's jokes here and there, they go to a gym to get sweat from a ghost. Ghosts are dead, how can they sweat? It's a fun little joke. And there's this creature from the Black Lagoon type character, so he keeps calling Snot Man. And then there's Fish Man or whatever too. It's fun. It's funny. It's a fun watch. I recommend it. 9 out of 10. So what are your thoughts on Halloweentown? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. Bye. I messed it up.